Welcome back once again to the Cricket Matters podcast. Today's topic is what should cricketers eat and drink on match days, especially to ensure peak performance. So, James, would you agree that maybe nutrition is maybe even more important in cricket than it is potentially in other sports, just because it can last a day, it can last, a few hours, it can last 5 days. It's so variable that, nutrition really is vital for cricket.
Yeah, it is. I wouldn't say it's more or less important compared to other sports because it has a huge impact on so many different sports.
Yeah.
But I think nutrition for cricketers is a topic that no one really talks about.
Do you think it's an overlooked topic? Maybe that's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Perhaps more important because it's an overlooked topic.
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Massively overlooked. I haven't yet met a cricketer, amateur or professional, when I've spoken to them in terms of nutrition, who've got their nutrition dialed down. Now you compare that to professional football players at the highest level, where their nutrition is monitored to the nth degree. In fact, they can't eat anything in season without going through a proven process almost because they're eating
every team's got their own chef and sports nutritionists and all that, haven't they? Yep.
So it's not going to happen in cricket because the money isn't there yet.
Yeah.
Okay, but one day it will be. So that the onus is on cricketers to take responsibility themselves, because I think that can set them apart from everybody else in terms of performance, recovery, endurance on the field, decision making. It's all about cognitive decision making. That's what cricket's all about. So I think it's easy to dismiss it. Oh, it's too difficult and too complex. It's not that difficult if you understand it. And you break it down into the simplicity of it all. And just follow some of those tips and advice we'll give you on the podcast now.
Yeah, well, I was going to say one of our clients, Smelleth, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning, when he wanted to lose a bit of weight, and I was like, well, best way, mate, is probably tracking your calories. He was like, oh, God, I don't know if I want to do that. And he pushed back a little bit, but we started off just tracking protein and water, and then we expanded it out, so we included a bit carbs and fat, and then he really got into a routine, and hey presto, he lost the weight he needed. So yeah, it is really important. And you spoke to him the other day, didn't you? Actually.
Yeah. Not only that, he lost the weight. He's also got into the over 50s squad to go to Sri Lanka for the over 50s World Cup. So there we go. Huge effort. So I remember seeing him going, oh my God, he's lost so much weight around his face and everything as well. And that was a weight loss protocol we did with him on what to eat and what to drink and stuff. So yeah, absolutely great. But it's overcoming hurdles or thought processes with people, because people think that nutrition is hard, it's complex, or it's not for me. But it's not once you apply certain things and do it stage by stage, habit by habit, and make it simple. Cricket's a simple game played by idiots mostly. I'll just say that now. Idiot right here. Gets man-catted. Flat out idiot there, right? So, but again, nutrition is the same thing as well. We can keep it simple. Don't need to go complex. Keep it simple. The complexity comes when you earn the right to get to that level. Okay?
Yeah, exactly. So before we talk, more about what cricketers should eat pre-match and during the match and post-match, etc., and hydration strategies as well, what do you eat, James? Can you take us through a typical sort of day's eating for you during a match?
During a match, yeah, very simple. So again, it's also so important for me I'm enjoying this as you're drinking your drink here, of hydrating here now. I love it, right? So as an aging cricketer now, at the age of 41, 42 in a couple of days' time, I have to take it so seriously. Otherwise, I won't recover fast enough to play the next day. And I'm playing a lot of cricket 3-4 times a week in some cases. So I have to be really careful and monitor it. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is I'll have a half a pint, well, not half a pint of electrolytes with a dash of Robinson's orange Ribena type stuff in there, and I'll have a shot of creatine. Okay, so I'll put creatine into it. That's my first thing to fuel me and to help me, replenish my creatine stores, recover fast enough, and electrolytes help absorption. Okay, and it's not about how much you drink, it's how much you absorb in terms of water. So that's my whole thing. That's the first thing I want to have, is try and hydrate as soon as I possibly can. When it comes to breakfast, I'll normally have porridge. So I'll have 1 or 2 scoops of porridge, which is about 90 grams of porridge oats, with a scoop of protein powder and peanut butter and jam. Okay, that's what I tend to have. and some frozen fruit on top of it. So I added here. So I know that's about 750 calories worth of protein, carbs, and everything in here that I can eat it alongside that electrolyte shot. Because I want slow releasing food, because I don't like eating heavily before a game. I'd rather have a little bit before we start as opposed to eating a lot. So that's what I have here now. It's slow releasing food sources, taking about 3 to 4 hours before we start a play. And then I'll have a coffee, because I always have to have a coffee pre-match ritual. It's always nice to have one of those. And then leading into the game, I tend to have these Trek bars. So I have these. I buy a pack of these 3 packs of Trek bars. I'll have one of those before I go out to play in the first innings. And then when I'm playing, I'm hydrating, but also having a carb energy drink inside it as well, which has about 178 calories. But it's fast inducing, gets into the blood system alongside my electrolytes to get into it quickly. This may sound complex, but it's not. When you set it up, right, it's not that complex. All I do is I have the Trek bars, I have the breakfast in the morning, which is routine. I have the Trek bars, one before I start, and then maybe 2 between innings, depending on how I feel or how much running I've done, or if I've been out for 0, I've done no running, so I don't desert them. So, whatever it is, I'll have that beating field. But I'm having that electrolyte drink plus carb energy drink during the game too, to help replenish my fluids, but also give me the energy to think and make better decisions, to help me recover. Because again, if you're dehydrated or malnourished, your potential of getting injured is quite high too. So it's all these factors you got to take into consideration. So that's during the game. Now, teas aren't really a thing anymore in South Wales cricket, so we have to bring our own. That's why I use the Trek bars. But post-game, for me, I always go back to my electrolyte drink and also some creatine again to add into it, which is already there. So it's part of the process to neck after the game to try and recover as fast as possible. And then I want to eat something protein, very high in protein, in order to recover for the following day. Now, you may ask, what about the beers? Well, if those of you who know me from a long time ago, I had to stop drinking about 13, 14 years ago, because alcohol does not agree with my body any way, shape or form. I was nicknamed Shandy during the Cricket Boys actually many years ago, because I couldn't handle a beer, but then we found out subsequently that my body does not process alcohol very well at all. So technically I'm teetotal. So I'll have a Guinness Zero, or I'll have a softie, depending where I'm at. But that's just a nutshell of how I approach nutrition for me. Yeah. But it's the meals before and after the game that are most important, alongside the hydration aspect during as well. So is that too much? Is that too complex?
No, that was good. I mean, you've basically given a perfect example of what cricketers should do there. So that's it for the end of the episode. No, it's good. So let's go back. We'll start again with the pre-match and just sort of go over what you've said, basically the key points. A balanced meal, which, protein and carbs with some fat, about 3 to 4 hours before. Now, maybe you might be able to get away with it up to about 2 hours, but definitely no shorter than that. Same with training. I don't know what you find, James, but if any less than 2 hours before, like going training or playing or whatever you can do, whatever your sport is, I always felt sick. If I didn't matter what I ate. If you give yourself any less than 2 hours before, then you might potentially, it won't be digested properly and you might feel a little sick. So a balanced meal 3 to 4 hours before. And as you say, you have oatmeal with fruit and berries. Maybe you could have some pasta with chicken, potentially a salad.
If you wanted to, maybe use some rice as well. It's entirely up to you. You choose what you enjoy eating. That's the most important. Choose foods that you enjoy eating. And, I quite like porridge. But if I break it down into 3 essential things of carbohydrates, proteins and fats, carbs coming from the porridge oats, the steel cut porridge oats, the proteins coming from the protein powder. I do a scoop of New Zest in there. That's the protein powder I use that agrees best with me. And then I have the fats coming from peanut butter. So those are the 3 things with a bit of protein in there as well. So those 3 things combined. I'll put some flaxseed as well, actually. That adds a bit of fibre too, to keep me regular, to keep me healthy. Most people are lacking in fibre.
Yes, absolutely.
These days too. So that's the simple thing. But you choose what you want to choose and what you want to enjoy eating. But the standard advice we see is some people don't like eating before a game. That's why the 4 hours comes in. Some people are okay with it, so you can eat it closer to the time. But the 2 to 4 hour window is the optimal period we find that goes into it.
Yep, exactly. And you mentioned it briefly, but staying hydrated, good hydration strategy, because that is definitely, besides food, hydration is definitely something people don't consider enough, is it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. And it starts when you wake up in the morning. Most people are chronically dehydrated, let alone in sport. We've seen top baseball coaches say the same thing, that most of their baseball players are chronically dehydrated. And we're seeing the same in cricketers. It's all good enough, well enough to have those little, they come out with the jugs of squash and pour you a glass of squash, during drinks intervals. But it's not good enough. Most people don't absorb it quick enough. They want to go pee straight away.
Well, exactly. That's the important thing about the electrolytes, isn't it? Because even though, as you said, it's not just about what you drink, it's about what you absorb. And you find people that think, I need to drink more water. They'll suddenly find themselves going to the toilet a lot more often. So you might be drinking it, but it's just coming out the other end, unfortunately. So you need to make sure that you absorb it.
Particularly in the older cricketers. The older statesmen of the team, they literally tend to have a lot of, let's put it this way, getting up in the middle of the night to go for a pee type issues constantly. So that's what we're going to talk about here now. But if you're having that, then it's an absorption issue, and it comes back. There's lots of things you can have for that to help with it. I'm not going to say it will be fixed, but absorption is a key thing. How you absorb water, and electrolytes do help it. So it's the absorption with electrolytes, with the carbohydrate type drink, which triathletes use to get glucose, carbs into the body quite quickly, to help you think clearly and perform for longer. So it's a double whammy. The electrolytes plus the carb drink is the key element here. You just need one water bottle to keep it going. You can have the squash alongside if you want to, but if we're looking optimally, you're looking at 3/4 to a litre in the morning, first thing in the morning, getting ready. Then you can just top up throughout the day accordingly, depending on how hot it is and what else you need. So I'd like to have a big chunk of those electrolytes and carb drink before I go out to bat. Say I'm opening the batting and it's a hot day and we're batting first in the first innings. I'll have that electrolytes in the morning. I'll have a coffee because I really enjoy coffee. And before I go out to bat, I'll neck half a litre of water to go out to bat, and then the other half will be topped up throughout the innings and what I need to do. So, and that's with the carb drink and the electrolytes.
Yeah, and then during the match, as you have some energy bars. Maybe you could try some dried fruit or bananas potentially, and as you say, keep sipping your water. Have a sports drink to help you maintain your hydration. And then post-match, 25 beers. We highly recommend.
Beers, after you've had your electrolytes, after you've had your protein and everything else, right? Then you can have your beers. We're all for that. I think it's a big part of the culture of the game. I think that's a great idea to do it. But think sensibly how you recover. Have and consume some of this stuff first. Have some food ready, maybe to have post-game in the
chicken and veg
quickly.
Best kind of thing.
Whatever you got, whatever you can do. I find Trek bars the easiest. Yeah. It's got protein, carbs, some fats in there, but it's also quick and easy. I don't have to make it. I just go to Tesco, use a club card, get it's a pound done.
Yeah, or a smoothie,
nice and easy.
Another protein smoothie potentially. Good recovery drink as well. Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. If you can do it, depending on where you want to do it, how soon you get up. If you're hanging around the change room in the clubhouse, it's quite hard. But if you go home straight away afterwards, then you've got that too. Now I'm going to say this now very quickly for all the boys who play for the club, the Welsh cricket club I play for in the midweek Parks cricket, because we always go for what we call a Newport salad after the game. So we play 18 overs midweek, and the Newport salad is basically sausage and chips. So the question I always get asked is this part of the nutritious meal? It's got carbs, maybe a little bit of protein, right? Lots of fat.
I don't know what's in that sausage,
Exactly, don't quite know what's in it, but is it part of the game? Hell yes. Yeah. So Newport salads don't count, so you can have a Newport salad after the game. So shout out to the boys there.
Well, exactly. You've got to try and be as optimal as you can, but also live life as well. You can't, especially in the amateur cricket, you can't be perfect, can you?
Exactly. So look, I think we're trying to give you an overview and an understanding of the actual article we've written about this. So if you go into Cricket Matters, search for what cricketers should eat and drink during match days, or search on Google, we come up top for that as well. If you search for that, and it'll pop up, you'll see a more in-depth article about what you should be doing and how there's different strategies to tailor for it. But hopefully we've given you an overview today of how I approach it and how you can do it in practical terms, and also why it's such an important thing for the older cricketer as well to start doing it. So I try my best to be a role model for people. Not always, but I try my best every now and then.
You do all right. I guess I'll let you have that one.
Thanks.
Thank you, mate. That is it for today. Please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. And if you would like our free training plan, then go to cricketmatters.com/train.